And welcome, everyone, to the latest installment of Magic Insiders. Dante Marchitelli and Jake Chapman here with you. The Orlando Magic are back at it tonight. They're going to host the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is the third of 4 meetings, and the only local broadcast that you will have here tonight will be with this man, Jake Chapman, on 96.9 The Game. So 96.9 FM or 740 AM. Otherwise, it's going to be televised on TNT, so no local telecast. So how does that feel? If you want any kind of local flavor, now you will have Stan Van Gundy on the broadcast for TNT, so there is some local broadcast, but there is some local ties. But if you want the local flavor, you got to tune in to Jake Chapman, who I believe will have Terrence Ross with you tonight.
Yes, Terrence Ross, as of now, will be alongside tonight, so I can't wait for that.
What does that mean?
It's a whole lot of fun. You never quite know. It's a 7:30 start.
You never know about any of us.
Throwing everybody's day off. No, it should be a lot of fun. 7 o'clock, we'll have the pregame show with Brandon Kravitz. 7:30, Terrence and I will take you through what should be an awesome game and should be an awesome atmosphere. It's been a great year, obviously. We've seen sellout crowds. We've seen playoff type atmospheres over the course of this year. But right now, football's in the rearview mirror. Sunday night against the 9-win Wizards was a packed crowd and a pretty good atmosphere.
Yes,
I have a feeling tonight is going to be electric at the Kia Center.
Well, we're going to have some fun. We've got a surprise for you. So those of you tuning in might already know, and those that are just joining us might be finding out. We've got a pair of tickets for tonight's game that we are giving away. And again, all of you listening on Magic Insiders on 96.9, this was pre-recorded. So we have already given away those tickets. But for those of you that are on right now at noon on this live stream, we are giving away a pair of tickets. So we have that caveat. And again, I don't think this needs to be said. It should be self-explanatory. But if you live in England, you cannot come tonight to the game. You cannot win the tickets unless you want to win them and give them to somebody. But you have to be able to come to the game.
Yes.
Is that fair? Is that fair?
I think so.
I don't want to rule anybody
I feel
out.
like you might have confused them with the winning the tickets and then giving them to somebody. Like, we can make that work.
Yes, we
but
can.
Let's just say if you're going to enter for the tickets, make sure that you're within 100 miles.
Yes, or somebody is. And so we've got some new. Isaiah Gomez is on here. We've not heard from him before.
All right.
Says hello. And then we've got your typical Will Dawson. Hey, what's up, Jake? It's Will Dawson. And I don't know. At this point, you need to say first and last name because it says Will Dawson.
It says it right there.
What's up, Jake?
But then
it's
he
Will.
said Jake knows ball, so I'm on Will's side.
Yeah,
whatever you want to do, Will.
There you go, absolutely.
out.
Big one tonight. We'll let you know who's in, who's out for the Magic and the Cavaliers here tonight. But and again, we welcome your feedback, your comment, and at the end of the show, we're going to pick a winner. It could be whoever had the best comment, could be whoever asked the best question. Jake may just say, Will Dawson, they're yours. And
Let's do that. Let's do the best question. I think that's...
Not just give him to Will? Okay. I like
Let's
that.
not just give him to Will.
Okay,
although
fair
Will,
enough.
if Will can ask a great question, that'd be great. Let's not do best comment either. Let's do best question.
I like
something
it.
that sort of tease us up a little bit. Because when the Cavs come to town, there's not a whole bunch of prep that goes into it. So we have done zero prep for this show. We're just kind of...
Speak for yourself. I have done a ton of prep for this show. You have a broadcast tonight. This is the...
It's just easy. I'm just kind of going off the dome
Absolutely. After this, I don't work tonight.
That's
I'm
right.
off.
You got
I'm off
nothing
the rest
going
of the
on.
way.
You want radio?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to. So hi, CJ. And again, we welcome your questions and your comments. We're going to pick a winner here tonight. I would be remiss, Jake, if we didn't start this broadcast talking about Franz Wagner and the job that he did in that victory against the Washington Wizards. He had 23 points. He had, and I think it's the 32nd time this year he's gone for 20 in a game. But he had 20 of those points were in the paint. The way he's able to finish, he's top 10 in the NBA in points per game in the paint. It's almost 13 a game that he averages in the painted area. And I think we look at what he did last year against the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? I remember all the comments after the series against the team that we're playing tonight, the playoffs that he had, and we remember, he was frustrated as anybody.
Sure.
First of all, with losing in 7, the whole team was frustrated. He was upset about his 1 for 15. I think way too many people have held on to that. You have to look at what he did. He averaged 19 points a game. He averaged 6 rebounds. He averaged 4 assists. He put up the exact same numbers that he did during the season in that series. He had 2 30-point performances in that series against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes.
He was one layup away from stealing that Game 6, right? So, I'm sorry, that Game 5 there in Cleveland before he came back and won Game 6. So, yes, he was frustrated with the final game, but in no way, my point being, Jake, in no way does that or should that define Franz Wagner and the phenomenal series that he had, the phenomenal year he had last year, and the career all-star year that he's having this year. He's the leading scorer on this team. He has taken that game and used it as motivation and fuel, and I think that'll happen again here tonight.
Yeah, in no way should any sort of those struggles identify or be what we think of when we think of Franz Wagner. In the same way that Paolo's struggles over the course of the last 2 weeks or 2 weeks prior to the last couple games shouldn't be what we identify with Paolo Banchero's career up to this point.
Exactly right.
We're talking about very small doses. And yes, Game 7 last year was not Franz's best moment, but anything you point to for his struggles last year, shooting the ball from the perimeter or whatever, I throw all that stuff out the window. Remember all of last year it was, he spent too much time with the German national team in the FIBA World Cup, and he's tired. He was in the Olympics last year, and he looked pretty good in November, and he still looks pretty good at this point. So I think, I was asked yesterday what was the cause of the big jump for Franz Wagner this year. I think being more comfortable with his perimeter jumper has helped. He's up about 2 or 3 percentage points than he was last season, and that opens everything up. But Franz can score in a phone booth, right? He can score with 5 defenders locked in on him because he's so good with his footwork and with his angles. And he has come back and hit the ground running. I think there's been an adjustment period as we've gotten healthy with everybody else, and some guys are learning to play together. I think there's, obviously spacing issues on the floor with our team because we're not a good perimeter jump shooting team. But Franz is just playing through all of that, and he has all season long. And the other part is between Franz and Paolo, you're seeing the last couple of games, those two kind of unlock, and Coach Mosley deserves credit for this, the two-man game with each other, setting screens for each other. Paolo's setting screens for Cole. We're trying different things offensively to try to get those guys in their spots. But, I mentioned this yesterday. Brandon Bass said the other night he loves the chemistry between those two guys.
Right.
It's not your turn, my turn basketball. They play together. They're still learning to play together. They're still very young. And I think they're both still sort of discovering how good they can be, both individually and together. But I think the spirit between those two guys, even with some struggles over the course of the last couple of weeks, has been phenomenal. And you want a Franz Wagner on your team in those tough moments. He's been awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's well said, well stated. And we do love the chemistry. That's one thing that's hard to do because you could easily go back and forth, my turn, your turn, but they don't do that. It's the best play, and they're both very cerebral with the way they play. I like this from Duval. He has balled out since returning. Let's get your comments and your questions. And again, we're giving away a pair of tickets. Magic Cavs tonight. This is the best record in the NBA. The Cleveland Cavaliers come in tonight, and you have a chance to go and watch your Orlando Magic. So we'll give those away there at the end. El Magico is on. That is huge. El Magico is a big Orlando Magic fan. CJ, and again, this is a question we've gotten, and we'll get to it here right now, but when is Jalen Suggs coming back? We've not had Jalen Suggs for 22 of the last 23 games. I think tonight will be his 13th consecutive game that he's missed with that thigh contusion. And again, we don't know. We just don't know. It's kind of a day-to-day thing, and hopefully he can start to ramp up and do more. At some point, conditioning is going to be an issue. He's got to get his conditioning here up. But let's look at the injury report here tonight. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, Amani Bates is out. Darius Garland is questionable. Now, that's interesting. Darius Garland, the all-star, that's a guy that's hurt the Orlando Magic in his career. He is questionable with the left hip contusion. We don't know if he'll be able to go. J.T. Thor is out, and Luke Travers is out. For the Orlando Magic, no Mac McClung, no Ethan Thompson, no Mo Wagner. That's no surprise. And no Jalen Suggs, again, here tonight. At some point, you got to get the guy back. And we are not going to be completely whole unless we have Jalen Suggs back. That's he's just such a huge piece of this thing. So we need him, but we don't have any extra insight. So we don't know how close he is or when we can expect him back. But we know that we need him, and we got to have Jalen Suggs to be the team that we want to be. We've only been healthy for 6 games for 92 minutes. Those 3 have played together on the floor. We've got to get him back to make a run, and if it's not tonight, hopefully it's soon.
6 games, and 5 of them were at the beginning of the season.
Yes.
I mean, Anthony Black's a different player. Cole Anthony's a different player. Wendell, Tristan. The team has sort of forged an identity without knowing what the 3 best players on the floor looks like. And Jalen came back for that Detroit game, and not shockingly, one of the best wins in calendar year 2025, even though he only played, 17 minutes in that game before he went down with the thigh. So we have no idea what our team at full strength right now looks like. And, I think the silver lining is you've got guys like Cole, like Anthony Black, who are taking advantage of the opportunities they're getting right now, and hopefully they'll be better off for it in the long run. But we know what Jalen means defensively, obviously. That leaps off the screen. but shooting the ball. Like, he's one of our
Yeah.
best three-point shooters, especially
Yes, that's
spotting up. And then you also talk about the spirit, the juice, the energy. You mentioned yesterday Mo Wagner sort of lit into them from the bench at the beginning of the third quarter last night, asking for some juice. When Jalen's out there, oftentimes you don't need Mo asking for the juice. He is
and when Mo's out there, you don't
providing the juice. Exactly. We are without our two biggest juice providers right now, Dante, and that is an issue.
This is true. This is true. Did you ever think you'd be saying that in NBA terms?
Actually, yeah, kind of.
You did. They do bring the juice, but we won't have either of those guys tonight, unfortunately. We've got much more coming your way on Magic Insiders, presented by International Diamond Center. Cheer on the Magic during back-to-back city nights at the Kia Center. You can see the team battle the Toronto Raptors. That's coming on Sunday, March 2nd, and Tuesday, March 4th. Reserve your seats today at OrlandoMagic.com and get ready to celebrate a kingdom on the rise with us. 10 minutes left, and we're giving away a pair of tickets to the Magic and the Cavs tonight. Love these comments. We're going to address them all when we return to Magic Insiders here in a moment. And welcome back, everyone. Good to have you with us. It is Magic Insiders presented by International Diamond Center. Dante Marcatelli and Jake Chapman here with you. Again, we're 10 minutes away. We're giving away a pair of tickets to Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Do we have a front runner, a leader in the clubhouse? There's still time for everybody.
There is still time for everybody, so make sure you get them in if you're following along on the stream. On YouTube. Comments flying in. Duval, T87, says, I do want Jet to play more. He needs the experience, and that's kind of tricky right now. It feels like Jet is starting to put the minutes together, the positive performances together when he's out there, but you want to make sure Gary Harris is ready come the postseason. Let's see. We've got Will Dawson.
You might be, just a real quick to piggyback on that, you might be in a situation where you kind of, Gary brings you defense and the ability to hit a three. He hasn't been hitting the three lately, but he has the ability. Jet Howard has to make shots. He does not do what Gary can do defensively. So if Jet is on the floor, he has got to hit shots.
Yeah.
And if he's not hitting shots, that to me, that's what is giving the nod maybe at times to Gary over Jet. But again, both guys are going to get their opportunity.
And it's a tricky spot to be in if you're Coach Mosley, because you can't trifle with development right now, right? Like, every night matters. We're trying to get out of the play-in scenario in the Eastern Conference. So whoever gives you the best chance to win,
yes, right.
That stint within that game is who you need to go with. And I do think both those guys will see considerable minutes the rest of the way. Jay Curve says, let's go, ticket giveaway. Listen up, everybody. We need all Magic fans in attendance. Get the Cavs up out of here tonight.
Jay Curve always has our back.
Six-man, got to provide the juice. We're lacking with Mo and Jalen out. That's a good point. We could have the six-man bring the juice tonight. That would be ideal.
That's right.
Within the building.
Extra.
That'd be great.
We would expect this to be a playoff atmosphere again, would we not?
It should be.
Right?
It should be nuts. Wendell Carter Jr. said twice in his media session today, this is a must-win game tonight.
Ooh, I like
Must-win game. Those are big words. And then I tweeted it. Now I've got all the Cavaliers fans thinking that he was talking smack.
I saved that for the Wizards games. That's what I saved that for. They're going to throw that out there against
Cavaliers.
I like that.
Say.
I like
if you lose to a 9-win Wizards team, that to me is more the definition of a must-win. But he's the one who has to go out there and do it, and he's going to have his hands full tonight, banging with Evan Mobley.
Well, we got a couple questions, a couple comments about Goga in the starting lineup. And listen, Wendell Carter Jr., I believe, has played 40 consecutive games. The last game was 40, correct? That was 40 consecutive games. So in those 40 games, he's right around 10 points and 9 rebounds. He's right around what you need. You need a double-double out of Wendell Carter Jr., and it's about what Goga Bitadze was giving you, right? So somewhere around there. So I think he's done a good job. I guess the reasoning is this is what you expected to start the season with, and now you hope that Goga Bitadze can bring energy, can bring juice off the bench like Mo Wagner did, closer than Wendell Carter Jr. can do it. He can be more steady and a rock for you defensively, and if you need a boost off the bench, Goga's a guy that can do that kind of like Mo did.
I think Wendell's playmaking within the starting lineup alleviates some of the pressure on Paolo and Franz. His screen setting is obviously a big part of it. And while it's not the specialty of either Goga or Wendell to space the floor, I'm more comfortable with Wendell shooting a 20-22 footer.
Sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And we need that spacing, especially with Paolo on the floor. You got to kind of get out of Paolo's way and let him operate in the mid-range and closer. And having shooters around him, I think, is a big part of that. Do you guys think AB is taking the leap right now? That's from Isaiah Gomez-Dinger. Boy, he's been awesome the last 10 games or so.
Yes.
He is shooting up over 40% from three. I was looking at his turnover numbers, and I did this about a month ago as well. Each month, month over the course of the season, his turnovers have dropped, and I'm talking precipitously. 2.4 in November, 2.2 in December.
Okay, well,
1.9.
first of all, we're taking your word for it, and you did do research.
Like
You said you-
precipitation.
and we're
That's
not
what it means. It means
precipitously? Is like
yeah,
precipitate?
that means it's
So it's dropping like rain?
dropping quickly. Yeah, like rain from the sky.
There's no way that's right. But anyway, but go ahead. I don't want to
think
interrupt.
it's right.
I'm not an English teacher. But
You
go ahead.
just already did interrupt. Who interrupts and then you say I don't want to interrupt?
Precipitously.
You
Got it.
completely interrupted me. He's under.
I did do that.
He's under 1 turnover per game for the month of February.
Precipitously.
And so that is
Got it.
now
I got it.
a
Am
very
I
big
using it
sample
correctly?
size in the month of February. So, and I asked Coach Mosley about it. He said most of AB's turnovers come from getting in traffic and guys just reaching in and slapping. It's not a decision-making thing. He's not making bad passes. And so I think in year 2, with what we want Anthony Black
yeah.
to be eventually for this team, those are all very positive signs, and it obviously helps when you shoot 7 of 12 like you did the other night.
Did it help? Does it help him confidence-wise putting him with the second unit? You've got Cole Anthony
think
now
so.
starting. That's a guy that can create for himself. That's a
Just
guy
give
that
him the
can
ball.
score. He just now has the ball in his hands
Yep.
constantly.
Absolutely.
I like that. And speaking of which, by the way, congratulate, not to get off track, but we've got how about Markelle Fultz played last night?
Yeah.
Was that great to see Markelle Fultz? I know all you Magic fans, big Markelle Fultz fans, to see him back with the Sacramento
Did you
Kings.
see him dunk it down the other night? He got up the other night
Okay,
and
Markelle.
yammed one. Great to see Mark. I mean, we love Markelle, and obviously, I think there's probably some regrets for the fact that it wasn't a longer relationship here.
Right.
But we're the biggest Markelle fans there is, and I know a lot of members of our front office feel the exact same way. And so, definitely good to see him out there doing what he loves.
What do you make of this? 0-2 the ball says Ty Jerome is a sneaking issue.
I mean,
Does he
I
think
don't
he
even
means
know if he's
sneaky, or-
sneaking anymore.
Is he sneaking or sneaky?
Yeah, probably sneaky.
Probably
Sneaky, but maybe he's sneaking around like TJ McConnell, sneaking in and grabbing those inbound
He is
passes.
a sneaking issue.
He
was
he's
very
having a
good in the
career year.
last
He's
round.
awesome. He had 23 points the other night. He filling in for Darius Garland. If we don't see Garland tonight because of that hip injury, it's going to be Ty Jerome, and talk about a success story. It's a guy who bounced around the league,
Right.
And a G League success story, and he has been huge for them off the bench. Another conversation I had yesterday doing a Cavs podcast, I was asked to project how much money Ty Jerome is going to get in free agency.
Interesting.
And I'm like, I don't know. I have
But isn't
no
that one of the
idea.
great stories? It's hard to
It
project
is,
that.
and he's
but
got a
it's-
payday coming this summer.
He's
to
got
be
a
sure.
payday coming. I mean, he's toiled in the G League overseas. I mean, he's earned his dues to get this opportunity. A bunch of 10-day contracts, 2-way contracts, and he's one of the best stories in the NBA. Okay, to get a win tonight, there is no love lost between these two teams. There is no, and we got to save time for our call of the game because it's a great one. And but if you can give me a quick, and all of our listeners here and viewers, what will it take? Evan Mobley's playing much better. Jared Allen is a rim protector. We didn't have him for the last 5 games of the postseason. Donovan Mitchell. This is the same team for the most part, other than Ty Jerome, but they are an offensive juggernaut. What will it take to beat them tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about an offensive juggernaut. They're scoring like 130 points per game the last 6 games.
Right.
They've been absolutely lights out. They've also been crashing the offensive glass in a very, very big way post All-Star break. So I think that's the first thing. It's usually a strength of ours is cleaning up the defensive glass. We cannot allow them. A team that shoots the ball this well cannot get two cracks at the
Correct.
at a bucket
Second chance opportunity.
anytime down the floor. And so make sure you clean up the glass. I don't think you need to control one guy specifically. If you had asked me this question a year ago, I would have said, if Mitchell doesn't get 35, 40 points, then we'll be all right. Now they've got so much balance offensively. Just a great offensive team. But I think ideally we sort of drag them down a little bit. I'd rather a 110-105 type game as opposed to a 125-120. We tend to not very
Muck it up a little bit.
muck it up a little
favors us.
bit. Make
Slow
sure
it
you
down,
clean
yeah.
up the defensive glass tonight. And then the other little low-key key that I'll throw out there is free throws. Paulo has lived at the
Yes,
free throw
yes.
line the last 3 games. If we can win the free throw battle, we got to get there. We got to knock them down as well. Then I think we'll be all right.
Well, and they're going to have some juice. That building is going to be electric. You Magic fans are going to be phenomenal. Again, it's a later start, so 7:30 game, 7 o'clock on 96.9 The Game. So I think that's going to play a part, too. That atmosphere is going to be electric inside Kia Center. We feel we owe them. They beat us in the playoffs. They're 2-0 against us this year. So certainly, hopefully, a chance to get some redemption here tonight, and hopefully that's coming. Okay, I want to get you our call of the game. It's brought to you by Glip from Ring Central. Rethink the way you work with secure meetings and messaging on any device with Glip by Ring Central. Visit glip.com to learn more. And for that, we're going to go to the NBA, which I thought was fantastic. They announced today that Orlando Magic's Wendell Carter Jr. named NBA Cares Bob Lanier Community Assist Award winner for the month of January for
About
all of
that.
his work. So he's going to get $10,000 that he can give to the charity of his choice. Cole Anthony was a winner earlier this year. So it says a lot about the DeVos family, Alex Martins, the Magic organization, and the premium that they place on giving back to the community. Now have 2 winners this year. But listen, he will be the first one to tell you, and I know he did today. Just give your thoughts and give a sense to everybody that didn't hear it when he addressed the media how much this means to him, the work that he does in the community.
Yeah, and in typical Wendell fashion, he said it's really important to him. What's not that important to him is the accolades and being recognized, although he certainly appreciates it. He does it because that's Wendell, and that goes back to Wendell's family. He's with something that speaks to me as the son of 2 teachers. He's very education oriented with the causes in the community, and like you said, whether it's Cole, Wendell, Coach Mosley has done such a great job of creating that culture where that part is very important. It goes back to the DeVos family, obviously. Historically, we've been such a big part of the Central Florida community, and it's been so important to ownership. But these guys, we got a lot of guys who not only talk the talk, but they walk the walk as far as that stuff goes. And what jumps out at me is, and I hate to put it this way, but during the holiday season, everybody's getting involved. Everybody's doing stuff.
Sure.
It's February, right? Like,
and
to still be involved 6 weeks, 2 months after the holiday season, I think it speaks to Wendell, to be sure, and the type of young man that he is.
Well, he's a class act, and this Magic team is full of class acts, and certainly that's what makes it easy to root for. That's why we have so much fun, and that's why you all Magic fans have so much fun, enjoy watching them, and you get an opportunity to do that tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But one in particular is going to the game tonight, Jake, that we did. Maybe they woke up this morning and didn't think they were going to go to the Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea who that would be?
We got some good ones in here, but I think I'm going with El Magico.
Oh, El Magico!
I think I got to go with El Magico.
Congratulations.
He's got about 8 to 10 comments that we can pick through. But the one, and I just lost it at scroll back. The one about making sure he was going to sweat through his mask tonight. Because of the energy in the building, that was the one that jumped off the page at me, El Magico. So 2 tickets for El Magico. Now we got to figure out, and I don't want to have to do this on the air. Now we got to figure out how to get a hold of him.
Well, I don't think we didn't promise to deliver actually on these tickets.
Okay.
We just wanted to name a winner, and then no, I'm kidding. El Magico, we will contact you, and if not, you can reach out to either one of us on Twitter or on social media.
Give me your phone number, Dante.
I'm going to give yours. I know it by heart. So congratulations to El Magico, but thanks to all of you. And just so you know, Jay Curve is always a deserving recipient as well. He said he is running. He will rebound for anybody that wants to shoot free throws. He's offered that service to anybody. So I think that's good. I think that should be pointed out. And other than that, that'll do it for us precipitously on this show, on this edition of Magic. Did I use it right there?
No.
Come on. That'll do it for this edition of Magic Insiders. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Thanks, El Magico. Have fun tonight. Let's beat the Cavs. 7 o'clock on 96.9 The Game. Magic and the Cavaliers. Terrence Ross and Jake Chapman. That'll be a great listen. We'll talk.